actually notice in that photograph, I'm wearing a shirt. And the funny thing is, after I was shot at in the Falklands War, I developed a peculiar medical condition which made it impossible for me to button a shirt all the way to the top. So it couldn't have been me. We're going to be looking at Prince Andrew's interview tonight. I'm still going to call him Prince Andrew, not just because I think it's funny. The first prince to be arrested for 17,000 years or whatever it is. I don't know. And he could go to jail, but not for rape. No. For fiddling the numbers or selling the secrets. Yes, I work for I'm the British Business Trade Envoy, and I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to go to the United States and to learn with very influential people. It is one of the most incredible pieces of art I've ever seen. It's like the Titanic or I don't know what else. You know, just a moment in history. Generational. We'll probably never see it ever happen again. It's almost like Frost Nixon, but actually interesting. The movie was good. The real thing, not so much. Kind of dry, right? Anyway, let's have a look at Prince Andrew and all the funny things he says. Oh, and then maybe we'll see what's happening with his legal problem. Welcome everybody in chat. Hello, welcome. Do you like the hour? Do you like the 9 o'clock hour, the Sunday 9 o'clock hour? Every day, forever 9 o'clock. Unless you are otherwise informed. But if you are to be informed, you will be with the proper notice, full notice, 24 hours, maybe even 7 days. Who can tell? I need to, hang on. Hold. Got to do a couple more things with this. But that's okay. Yes. Every second of this is fascinating, incredible. I remember the first time I watched it, I immediately put it back to the beginning and just, I didn't even stop or nothing. Watched the whole thing, slack-jawed, and then without even closing my mouth, hit rewind and play again. So here it is. No way. Want a sound?
We'll come on to that, but today you've chosen to speak out for the first time.
Why no sound? Why no sound for me? I know you guys can hear, but not me. Fuck.
And it would be, to some extent, a stretch to say that as it were, we were close friends. I mean, we were friends.
We have to count up the language things here. The what do you call it? Distancing, right? To some extent, it would be somewhat of a perhaps stretch to even maybe consider that we could have been more than a close, very, very close friends. I mean, we were close because of other people and my learning.
Become friends. How did you meet?
Well, I met through his girlfriend back in 1999,
Okay.
who...
How did you meet? Well, I met through his girlfriend. So arrest her. It's her fault. We wouldn't have even met had it not been with my friendship with Ghislaine. And of course, Ghislaine had not yet been arrested at this point. Or even had really much of a presumption that she may be. He kind of, Prince Andrew here, kind of made a move to align himself primarily with Ghislaine, and, you know, that Epstein was to some extent, he was sort of a +1, if you know what I mean.
And I'd known her since she was at university in the UK.
Yeah, educated.
And it would be, to some extent, a stretch to say that
A stretch, to some extent, a stretch.
where we were close friends. I mean, we were friends because of other people. And I had a lot of opportunity to
We weren't on the same bowling team or anything.
go to the United States. But I didn't have much time with him. I suppose I saw him once or twice a year, perhaps maybe maximum of...
Yeah, perhaps a maximum of 8 or 9, but no more than 13. Okay, 20, but definitely no more than 35 times a year.
3 times a year. And quite often, if I was in the United States and doing things, and if he wasn't there, he would say, well, why don't you come and use my houses? So I said, that's very kind, thank you very much indeed.
Yes, why don't you come and use my houses? Because they're private, and we have a little menu next to each of the beds that has a list of the exotic women that we carry. All of them are free and disease-free. They're all cleaned and tested for your leisure, sire. And then he points one that's just a house, you know, not a sex worker or slave, whatever you want to call it, but just someone who works in the house, and says, yes, that one there, that one, the blonde there, have her cleaned and bring her to my quarters.
But it would be a considerable stretch to say that he was a very, very close friend. But he had the most extraordinary ability to bring...
Who said that? She asked, when did you meet? I think I'm gonna have to play it again from the beginning. I'm sorry. When did you meet? To some extent, it would be a considerable stretch to say that we were ever very, very, very close, sitting in the same boat sort of friends. You know, paddling down the river together, or riding a bicycle built for two along the Thames.
Extraordinary people together. And that's the bit that I remember, is going to the dinner parties where you would meet academics.
Don't worry. Is that how they pitched him? Hey, listen, this is going to be a great exposure for you to tell us about your philanthropic, charitable work. Yeah, you can tell the nation.
Chosen to speak out for the first time. Why have you decided to talk now?
Because there is no good time to talk about Mr. Epstein and all things associated. We've been talking to Newsnight for about 6 months about doing something around the work that I was doing. And unfortunately, we've just not been able to fit it into either your schedule or my schedule until now. And actually, it's a very good opportunity, and I'm delighted to be able to see you today.
As you say, all of this goes back to your friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. How did you first become friends? How did you meet?
Well, I met through...
All of this goes back to your friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. How did you first become friends? How did you meet? Okay? So she does mention the word friends, but there's no need, given the form of her question, there's no need for him to come in and say, to some extent, it would be a considerable stretch to say that we were very, 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 very close friends. I mean, we were very close.
His girlfriend back in 1999, who, and I'd known her since she was at university in the UK.
Yeah.
And it would be, to some extent, a stretch to say that
a good one.
as it were, we were close friends. I mean, we were friends because of other people. And I had a lot of opportunity to go to the United States, but I didn't have much time with him. I suppose I saw him once or twice a year, perhaps maybe maximum of 3 times a year. And quite often, if I was in the United States and doing things, and if he wasn't there, he would say, well, why don't you come and use my houses? So I said, that's very kind, thank you very much indeed. But it would be a considerable stretch to say that he was a very, very close friend. But he had the most extraordinary ability to bring extraordinary people together. And that's the bit that I remember, is going to the dinner parties where you would meet academics, politicians, people from the United Nations. I mean, it was a cosmopolitan group.
You would meet academics, politicians,
Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with me.
Soup of success and power.
Of what I would describe as US eminence.
Was that his appeal?
U.S. eminence. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein was eminent when he was alive, when my eminence was merely imminent.
Then was that what you, because you were perceived by the public as being the party prince, was that something you shared?
I think that's also a bit of a stretch.
Is
I don't know.
Is it? Should we bring up some pictures? Are they not going to show pictures here? I thought they did. Okay, well, we can get some. To some extent, I never really have partied. I don't. You know, I don't know what a party is.
I don't know why I've collected that title, because I never have really partied. I was single for quite a long time. In the early 80s, but then after I got married, I was very happy, and I've never really felt the need to go and party, and certainly going to Jeffrey's was not about partying, absolutely not.
You said you went
Absolutely not. Going to Jeffrey's was not about partying. I was at a cosmopolitan soup of U.S. eminence.
very good friends, but would you just...
I gotta bring up the chat. Where's the fucking chat? Hello, everybody in chat. We need to find it. Where is it? Well, what? Well, yeah, fuck you. Okay. Try again. Oh, you want me to fucking log in, do you? Yeah, I thought you might. I love logging in. Boom. Everybody in in chat. Boom. Good. Busy chat. Mr. Pinto. Boom. Everybody else, hang on. I never really have worn a shirt. When I would go out in London, I would wear what I would describe as my fake arms. So it's impossible to tell if my arm is not in the picture. Those are my travel arms. Okay, let's get it on the screen. Hello, music by Brian, riding shotgun, Christina, Katarina Scarcella. Ooh, how exotic. Donna Might what? Donna Might do life in prison? It's on the cards. Yeah, okay, we need the chat on screen. That's what we need, and we need it now. Boom! No. Got it. Gee, well, that took a minute, didn't it? It's here now.
Describe him as a good friend. Did you trust him?
Yes, I think I probably did. But again, I mean, I don't go into a friendship looking for the wrong thing, if you understand what I mean. I'm an engaging person. I want to be able to engage. I want to find out. I want to learn. And so...
I don't go into a relationship looking for the wrong thing. When I opened that closet and 40 Russian 12-year-olds fell out, scantily clad, wearing nothing but nightgowns, I just assumed they were staff.
You have to remember that I was transitioning out of the Navy at the time, and in the
I'm a war hero, and now I'm the business envoy.
Transition, I wanted to find out more about what was going on, because in the Navy, it's a pretty isolated business because you're out at sea the whole time. And I was going to become the Special Representative for International Trade and Investment. So I wanted...
The Special Representative for International Trade and Investment. Is your salary dependent on the number of alphanumeric characters you have in your fucking job title? The what? The Special Independent... hang on, we need to come up with something good. The Special Independent Agent for Business Relational Management and Investment Scheme Projection Forecasts International.
I wanted to know more about what was going on in the international business world. And so that was another reason for going there. And the opportunities that I had to go to Wall Street and other places to learn whilst I was there were absolutely vital.
He was your guest as well. In 2000, Epstein was a guest at...
Do you think he knows the difference between the bear and bull market?
Windsor Castle and at Sandringham. He was brought right into the heart of the royal family at your invitation.
But certainly at my invitation, not at the royal family's invitation. But remember that it was his girlfriend that was the key element in this. He was the, as it were, plus one to some extent.
It's a straightforward shooting weekend. Whatever that is. I mean, what does that even mean? You know, and we could get dirty, but we're above that. It was just that, no, birthday party, no, that was a Easter egg hunt. Just your average Easter egg hunt. We hide the eggs and the children search. And it's tradition.
And if there was, you have to remember that at the time,
And if there was an indication that I didn't see, it couldn't have been there because it didn't exist. While I was there, of course. Whatever he was doing in my absence, I can't speak to that, I'm afraid. And nor can the palace. Not the royal family's invitation, certainly at my invitation.
I was patron of the NSPCC's Full Stop campaign.
I was patron of the NSPCC, what is it? The National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. I was, what was it? I was patron of the NSPC's Full Stop campaign.
When I saw him with the indication, and if there was, you have.
Oh, it doesn't even make sense. There was absolutely no indication whatsoever. And if there was, which there wasn't, but if there was, I didn't see it, and it didn't happen in front of me, or under me, or behind me, or in me, or in anyone else.
You have to remember that at the time, I was patron of the NSPCC's Full Stop campaign, so I was close up with what was going on in there.
Okay, so we've had war hero. When you're in the Navy, it's a fairly isolated business because you're out at sea all the time. And I had the opportunity. Now, we've had war hero, and we've had special superintendent agent, international business investment marketing campaign management detection service president globally. And now, what was it? Chairman of the NSPC's Full Stop campaign. Well, I can imagine what that was. What was the full stop for you, Andrew?
There was time about getting rid of abuse to children, so I knew what the things were to look for, but I never saw them.
So you would have made that connection because you stayed with him, you were a visitor, a guest on many occasions at his homes, and nothing struck you as suspicious?
Nothing.
During that whole time?
Nothing.
Just for the record, you've been on his private plane.
Yes.
You've been to stay on his private island.
Yes.
You've stayed at his home in Palm Beach.
Yes.
You visited Gellin.
You see, if I was interviewing Prince Andrew, not that Emily Maitlis didn't do an amazing job. I mean, stunning. It's like, it's what she'll always be remembered for. But if I was interviewing Prince Andrew, I'd ask questions like, listen, Prince, when you're having sex with 7 underage girls all at the same time, do you ever get a little bored, distracted in your own head, and just think, you know what I could really use right now? Fried egg sandwich. I'm going to take a break and be back in 20 minutes. Entertain yourselves.
Maxwell's house in Belgravia in London.
Yes.
So in 2006, in May, an arrest warrant was issued for Epstein for sexual assault of a minor.
Michelle,
Yes.
hello.
In July, he was invited to Windsor Castle to your daughter Princess Beatrice's 18th birthday. Why would you do that?
Because I was asking Ghislaine.
Yeah.
But even so, at the time, I don't think certainly I wasn't aware when the invitation was issued what was going on in the United States. And I wasn't aware until the media picked up on it, because he never said anything about it.
He never discussed with you the
never
fact
discussed it.
that an arrest warrant had been issued? So he came to that party knowing police were investigating him?
Well, I'm not quite sure whether was it police that were. I don't know. You see, this is the
It
problem.
was the
I
Palm
really
Beach
don't know.
police at the time.
But I mean, I'm afraid, you see, this is the problem.
Yeah.
Because
Couldn't
an
tell
awful lot
you.
of this was going on in the United States, and I wasn't a party to it, and I knew
How
nothing.
did you feel about it?
Hadn't heard about it. He never said anything to me. He did disappear for about 12 months, but Yeah, no, I just assumed he was a very busy man. He was eminent.
Well, I ceased contact with him after I was aware that he was under investigation, and that was later on in 2006. And I wasn't in touch with him again until 2010. So it was one of those things that if somebody's going through that sort of thing, well, I'm terribly sorry, I can't be.
So no contact.
No contact.
When he was serving time.
Hey, Andrew, have you ever heard of this new thing called a telephone? I had to go to New York, and that was because I am what I would describe as perhaps too honourable. And those are my fake arms that I wear for travel.
The judgment call that because this was...
And the people that said go and see him are the people that are saying, well, you know, there's a ton of free young pussy there, so that's a factor. Oh, yeah. I called lawyers and perverts, and they had different ideas.
Serious, and I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it. I had to go and see him and talk to him. And
what is he talking about? I mean, doing it over the phone and telling him that I didn't want to speak to him would have been the chicken's way of doing it. And I'm no chicken. War hero. 22 years. Her Majesty's Navy. Royal Navy.
I went to see him, and I was doing a number of other things in New York at the time, and we had an opportunity to go for a walk in the park, and that was the...
I really wanted to try fisting. I wanted to see what the youngest... I can't do it.
Conversation, coincidentally, that was photographed, which was when I said to him, I said, look, because of what has happened, I don't think it is appropriate that we should remain in contact. And by mutual agreement during that walk in the park, we decided that we would part company, and I left, I think it was...
I don't think it's appropriate that if we're banging the same teenager at the same time, I don't think it's appropriate that our balls should touch. That's my limit. That's the limit of a prince.
The next day, and to this day, I never had any contact with him from that day forward.
What did he say when you told him that you were breaking up the friendship?
He was what I would describe as understanding. He didn't go into any great depth in the conversation about what I was doing, or what he was doing, except to say that he'd accepted whatever it was, a plea bargain. He'd served his time, and he was carrying on with his life. You see what I mean? And I said yes, but I'm afraid to say that's as may be. But with all the attendant scrutiny on me, then I don't think it is a wise thing to do.
Who advised you then that it was a good idea to...
And why would you have that conversation in the fucking middle of Central Park? Was that Epstein's idea? He was like, yeah, okay. You got to figure that Epstein could have just pressed a little button, probably has a button, and that just calls a photographer to his current geolocation. Yeah, you want to go for a walk in the park? It's beautiful in this time of year.
Go and break up the friendship. Did that come from the palace? Was Her Majesty the Queen involved?
No.
That came from... So there were a number of people...
Does it have to do with Wendy? No. No, 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 no. The palace, no, 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 no.
So some people, but with all the attendant scrutiny on me, then I don't think it is a wise thing to do.
Who advised you then that it was a good idea to go and break up the friendship? Did that come from the palace? Was Her Majesty the Queen involved?
No. That came from. So there were a number of people so some people from my staff, some people from friends and family I was talking to, and I took the decision that it was I had to show leadership and I had to go and see him and I had to tell him that's it.
That was December.
Asian pussy, and I also had heard great things internationally about Peruvian pussy. So he had one of those knocking around.
It was a convenient place to stay.
It was a convenient place to stay. This is from a guy who, if he went to the fucking, where was it? I'm trying to remember what country it was. Was it Thailand? I think, let's say it was Thailand. He went to I'm not exactly sure what they have. The King of Thailand. He went to the King of Thailand's house, which is big. And they said, yeah, he was on an international visit. And the King of Thailand said, yeah, fucking we got a whole great place for you to stay right here in our palace. And he said, nah, I got the whole top floor of the Four Seasons, so I'm good. Which is a little rude and also expensive, right? Could he possibly be within... Is there anywhere in the world other than Jeffrey... Is there anywhere in the world where is there one spot anywhere in the world where there are more luxury hotels within a mile radius than Jeffrey Epstein's house? You got to think that it's a contender, right? I mean, trying to think, where else? What else would be a contender? Where would there be more luxury hotels available within a 1 mile radius anywhere in the world? What would that be? I mean, no, I think it might be New York. I think it might be New York. I can't think of any sensible location to put up against it. Anybody in chat, where are there more? Dubai. Yeah, Dubai's... I mean, sure, there's hotels. Are there that many? I don't think there's that many. There's the big ones. There's like, what, 6, 7, 10. Maybe there's more now.
I've gone through this in my mind so many times.
Hey.
At the end.
Boom. Thank you, Jasus, for this super chat. And thank you, Michelle, for this super chat. That's very kind of you both. Thank you so much.
End of the day, with the benefit of all the hindsight that one could have, it was definitely the wrong thing to do. But at the time, I felt it was the honourable and right thing to do, and I admit fully that.
Imagine if his answer had been, "Why did you stay at a sex offender's house?" And he just looked up and said, "I couldn't get a cab. I couldn't get a cab. It was raining. My shoes were all wet." You know. He's got a really good, central heating system.
That my judgment was
better than any hotel.
Probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable, but that's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Because during that time, those few days, witnesses say
Do you feel too honourable when you're tongue-holing the ass of a thing?
they saw many young girls coming and going at the time. There is video footage of Epstein accompanied by young girls, and you were there staying in his house, catching up with friends.
I mean, if they were, then I wasn't a party to any of that. I never saw them. I mean,
I wasn't a party to any party, and definitely not at Jeffrey's house, because there weren't any parties. And I don't know what a party is.
we have to understand that his house, I described it more as almost as a railway station, if you know what I mean, in the sense that there were people.
I don't know what you mean. What the fuck do you mean? I describe his house as almost more of a railway station. If you know what I mean. Of course you know what I mean. It's a railway station. And he means busy. He means people going in and out. Okay, well, that could be equally a shopping mall or, a movie theatre. It's a railway station or an airport or a marina or a taxi rank or a bus stop, whatever that is.
People coming in and out of that house all the time. What they were doing, and
people were going in and out of what?
more as almost as a railway station, if you know what I mean, in the sense that there were people coming in and out of that house all the time. What they were doing and why they were there, I had nothing to do with. So I'm afraid I can't make any comment on that, because I really don't know.
Another guest was John Brockman, the literary agent. Now, he described
Really?
seeing you there, getting...
Really? I don't know who John Brockman is. It's impossible for me to have ever met a John Brockman, because I have a peculiar medical condition which makes me be physically and violently sick if I meet anybody with the surname Brockman.
getting a foot massage from a young Russian woman. Did that happen?
No.
You're absolutely sure, or
Yeah.
you can't remember?
Absolutely sure.
So John Brockman's statement is false.
I don't.
Jeffrey said she could pass as 16 easy. That makes her employable. That means she was doing her job.
Know Mr. Brockman, so I don't know what he's talking about.
But that definitely wasn't you getting a foot massage from a Russian girl in Jeffrey Epstein's house.
No.
Interesting. He says, well, I don't know Mr. Brockman, so I don't know what he's talking about. And that was the answer to what?
Agent. Now,
Really?
he described
Really?
seeing you there, getting a foot massage from a young Russian woman. Did that happen?
No.
You're absolutely sure, or
Yeah.
you can't remember?
Absolutely sure.
So John Brockman's statement is false.
Well, I don't know Mr. Brockman, so I don't know what he's talking about.
But that definitely wasn't you getting...
Yeah, but not knowing Mr. Brockman has no bearing on whether or not Mr. Brockman's statement is false. So, is Mr. Brockman's statement false? Well, I don't know Mr. Brockman, so I don't know what he's talking about. It's not a good answer, is it? It's not something that works.
A foot massage from a Russian girl in Jeffrey Epstein's house.
No.
No. I don't know what feet are, because I don't even put on my own shoes, let alone tie my, what are they called? Laces. Okay. So I never actually see feet.
It might seem a funny way to break off a friendship, a 4-day house party of sorts with a dinner. It's an odd way to break
it's
up
a difficult
friendship.
way of putting it. That's a very stark way of putting it. Yes, you're absolutely right. But actually, the truth of it is that I actually only saw him for about the dinner party, the walk in the park, and probably passing in the passage.
So let's go to that Central Park walk, which was snapped. Friends of yours suggest that Epstein wanted that photo taken. Perhaps he'd even set it up. Do you worry that you were being played?
Again, new information coming out since his suicide has made us reappraise that walk in the park. We can't find any evidence, or my staff and my people and I can't find any evidence to suggest that that was what he was doing. I mean, you can look at it in so many different ways. The fact of the matter is that somebody very cleverly took that photograph. It wasn't, as far as I remember, nor do my security people remember anybody being present or close, because there were enough security around. I mean, there are photographs of the security people are around in the photograph. So I mean, he could have done, but
Yeah. I guess what I'm asking is, do you feel that you were part of Epstein's public rehabilitation?
Oh, no. Funny enough, I don't. No. I mean, if
He was so relieved to realise the point of the question. What was it? Just want to hear his answer again.
he was doing, I mean, you can look at it in so many different ways. The fact of the matter is that somebody very cleverly took that photograph. It wasn't, as far as I remember, nor do my security people remember anybody being present or close, because there were enough security around. I mean, there are even photographs of the security people are around in the photograph. So I mean, he could have done, but
Yeah. I guess what I'm asking is, do you feel that you were part of Epstein's public rehabilitation?
Oh, no. Funny enough, I don't. No. I mean, if he was doing, if that photograph was taken for that with that purpose in mind, then it doesn't equate to what actually happened.
So why wouldn't you announce this breakup when you got back? Why wouldn't you publicly explain what you'd done? Did you worry that he had something that could compromise you?
No. No.
Do you regret that trip?
Yes.
Do you regret the whole friendship with Epstein?
Now, still not, and the reason being is that the people that I met and the opportunities.
So, are we back? If I take it off, we can't play the fucking interview? Oh, that sucks. Why not? It's supposed to be BBC. Oh, it's maybe because of America. Maybe it's not available in America. Can you guys hear me now? Is it still streaming? Okay, so